Hello and welcome to Authentic Driving Podcast. I am your host, Sonia, and today we are going to be talking about how to beat parental imposter syndrome. Parental imposter syndrome. So today, this topic is going to be focusing on parenting, right? We've done spirituality, we've done all of the stuff that include mindset. So I think it's only fair that we touch on the parent one this week or this month. So before we start, don't forget to share, to subscribe on my YouTube if you like the content that I'm sharing. So, how do we beat parental imposter syndrome? What is parental imposter syndrome? So, basically, imposter syndrome is when you doubt yourself. You constantly have that doubt that you are not able to do that which you are skilled to do. You are not able to do that which you are competent to do. That doubt hold you back. The doubts bring this, you know, bring doubts into you, right? So the doubt bring doubt into you. It um makes you delay, it makes you not want to do things that you have the competency to do. So now how does that apply to parental imposter syndrome? There are some people as parents, I think this applies especially to women. It happens to men as well. But I think it's more popular with women. Whereas a new mother, you just doubt yourself that you're not doing enough. So my job has exposed me to a lot of people that are experiencing there. And if care is not taken, it can lead to postnatal depression, where you just feel like you are not good enough. You are not doing enough as a mother. You are not good enough to be a mother because you are not doing the best for your children, even though you are showing up 100%, you are doing everything that you're supposed to be doing for that child. But there's this niggling doubt inside of you that make you feel like you are not capable. That is parental imposter syndrome. I've experienced it before. I remember when I just had my first child 15 years ago, and she was suddenly she was very poorly. She was running temperature, and I remember my mom then used to tell us that when their temperature is a little bit high, you just put, or as in strip them, bathe them with lukewarm water, and that's what I did. Because in the UK you can't really just use cold water like you do in Nigeria. So lukewarm water was what I used, is as opposed to cold water in Nigeria. So I thought she would feel better. I was monitoring her temperature and everything. I had this the temperature measure was, I was checking it often. And then suddenly in the morning while I was getting ready for work, I realized that she started shaking, as in quivering. She was shaking, but not in a cold way, but as if she was having a seizure. My goodness. Hmm. She was just 7 months old. I screamed. My mother-in-law was around then, and she was just in the next room. She came into the room. She grabbed her. I was screaming. I was praying. I prayed all the prayer that I could think about. I was praying. My mother-in-law was also praying. We were praying. I grabbed my phone. I called the ambulance immediately. I was screaming. The lady on the other end was like, "Calm down. Can I have your address? Da, 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 da. How is the child doing?" I said, "She is having a convulsion. She's convulsing, as in she is shivering, she's quivering." So she was like, calm down, she's gonna be okay. I'm like, okay, there is no word that lady could say that would pacify me. I was really scared. The ambulance came, they took us away to the hospital. I was praying and praying and praying for her. I was praying with her. I was just praying, God, please keep my daughter, keep my daughter. And then we got to the hospital and they said, oh, her temperature, she has overheat and her body was just fighting it. So she was not really like going into convulsion. It was a good thing that I called the ambulance on time, that she was just really too hot inside. So they gave her couple. And I forgot to mention, I did give her couple, but it wasn't working. So they gave her ibuprofen in the hospital. They kept her in to monitor her and everything. And later that day, they discharged us back home. So we go home. So you can imagine, I've only been a mother for 7 months. The imposter syndrome set in. I will not take my eyes off her. I was constantly doubting myself. Am I doing the right thing? Am I giving her enough food? Am I doing enough of this? I was questioning myself, but I wouldn't tell anybody. But I was just like always second doubting myself. And then one day I took her to visit my colleagues at work. And I was telling them what had happened. And the other lady was like, oh, next time, Sonia, when you pour water on her and the temperature don't go down, you just take a risk to the tap and just release water on it. Let the water just keep pouring on her wrist because that will cool her temperature down a little bit faster. Another one told me get a cloth, make sure you don't wear a full clothes, strip her, even after towel drying her, after pouring water on her, put a bit of a damp towel on her head and everything so her body can cool down and then the fresh air can get into her body faster and all of those. So there were these women, they were older and short grandmothers, they were giving me tips. If I tell you, that boosted my confidence so much. You're like, oh no, Sonia, you're doing well, you're doing well, you did the right thing to call the ambulance. They were telling me their stories. And by the time I'd finished speaking to my colleague, I felt so good. Sonia, you're doing well. You are doing well. Keep on doing what you're doing. Keep learning. There is no manual for parenting. Just keep learning. You are not failing. You are not incapable. You have got everything it takes to be a great mother. And I believe that. From them, I started learning from my experiences. If I learn something, I also transfer it to other people in the church group where we normally sit as mother and baby group. I will ask the right questions, especially the older women, also professionals, doctors, nurses. I just asked the right questions. There was no question that was dumb for me. And once I think about the question, I just pop it out. I just ask. It's not better for me to look foolish, ask a foolish question, and get a right answer that will equip me, that will make me feel confident. So if you're in any situation where you're facing parental imposter syndrome, please just know that you were able to do the right thing and that baby, you bettered the baby and everything. You were able to do the right thing the first day, the second day, every other day, you are going to do the right thing. Take one day at a time. That is the only thing you can do. One day at a time. That's what you need to do. Just keep showing up 100%. Ask people that have been ahead of you questions. Ask professionals questions. Learn from your experiences and do well to also share with other people. Observe Observe your child. Observe that child very well because children will change from one pattern to another. Sometimes they will sleep from morning to midday. Another time they will change their pattern again where they are sleeping from midday till maybe about 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. So their time changes. Check their pattern, observe their pattern. If they are in a daycare center, also talk to those people to know the changes that your child is going through. Because if you don't have a routine, if you don't follow that pattern, your child will start, acting up where they are getting really uncomfortable because you are not catching up with the changes in their routine or because you are not doing what you're supposed to be doing. If your child need food, you are busy baiting them. So you need to observe that child and create a routine that works better for both of you. Be authentic. Don't try and be like another woman because you and your child, you are unique and perfect together. So be an authentic mother to that child. Don't start, oh, this child is eating this particular food, I'll start feeding my child. And if your child doesn't like it, you think you are failing as a mother. You are not failing as a mother. Your child may not just like the food. So you need to keep exploring. It's a journey. That is the only way you will enjoy motherhood or fatherhood without feeling guilty. Parental imposter syndrome is real, but we can beat it. If I was able to beat it, you can beat it. Did I mention I have 3 children now? So, you see, the parental imposter syndrome did not stop me from having more children. So, what that means is that I was able to beat it. So, if I can beat it, so can you. And also, you need to adopt a growth mindset. A growth mindset, because children, they change a lot. So, for example, what my toddler is doing, my twin, which is 10 years old before they are teenagers, she's not doing it. What my teenager is doing, the others are not doing it. They change a lot. So you need to have a growth mindset to grow along with them, to be flexible with them as well. And know that your children, they are not one size fits all. I have a child who you just look at and she understands that she feel really bad. Like her mom is just giving me the side eye. I have a child I have to actually speak to before she understand that, okay, mom is not happy with what I did. So children are different. The fact that the method you use for child one is not working for child two should not trigger imposter syndrome. It's not you. It's just that your child is different. Every child is unique. And you mama, you papa, you are also unique. But you know the best benefit? You are the perfect mother for your child. And fathers, you are the perfect father for your child. There is no other person that can do it better in parenting than you. So I'm going to stop right here. I've given you all my tips. I've told you my experience, and I hope this encourage someone out there and bust that bubble of parental imposter syndrome, because you are doing extremely well, showing up in your authentic and in your best step. Keep asking those questions. Keep learning from people that have gone ahead of you. Keep having a flexible mindset. Keep learning from your experiences and keep being awesome. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode. If you want to follow me on social media, or you want to ask more questions, or if you want to submit some topics for me to touch on, please feel free to reach me on Instagram, Sonia, YouTube, Sonia, if you want to watch this live, and also Sonia on Facebook, Sonia on LinkedIn. Until I come your way again, I am Sonia and I'm your host. Take care and have a blessed day. Bye.